If you are a beginner in audio editing, you may have this question in your mind. How much audio editing do I need? Is my audio good enough to publish or share? Can I send this audio to a client? The answer to all these questions depends on where you are trying to submit the audio. If you think of a common standard, consider ACX Check. ACX Check has quite a high bar of audio quality. So if your audio passes the ACX Check, you can be sure that your audio is good enough. So what is ACX Check? How do I get this ACX Check in my Audacity? ACX is a marketplace where audiobook narrators submit an audiobook and earn money. They have a high standard for audio quality to accept an audiobook. If you are recording audio for YouTube or your podcast, meeting these requirements may not be strictly necessary. But if you take your audio to meet ACX standards, you have achieved a very high standard. They have some guidelines, and ACX Check tests if your audio passes the guideline. Audio editing software can integrate a tool that checks ACX requirements for a piece of recording. I will improve this raw audio recording in Audacity and check if it passes ACX requirements. I have not done any processing yet on this audio. Before applying the standard effects to make the sound better, I will check where it stands with respect to ACX. The peak and RMS failed on the raw recording, only the noise floor passed. You should not be worried about the results in the raw recording for the ACX check, because these values will change once apply some Audacity effects. What matters is the ACX check after you have done your processing. ACX check is not available by default in Audacity. You have to install it from the Audacity plugin website. I will give this link in the description. You have to download the acx.ny file. I already have downloaded it, so not downloading it again. You should save this file to a suitable location. acx.ny is a Nyquist plugin, so you can easily install it from the Nyquist installer. Go to Tools, then Nyquist Plugin Installer. Browse to the location where you have kept the acx.ny file. I kept this file in the Downloads folder. Select the file and click Open. Installing the ACX Check is as simple as that. You should now improve your audio with the effects you apply in your recording. My channel has many videos explaining how to get studio sound quality. I have made a macro or one-click solution for that. I will use the single-click solution instead of applying all the effects individually. I have different variations of the solution with some excellent EQ like clear vocal or podcast, etc. These macros improve the audio with a professional EQ. If you want to get these macros for yourself, you can get this from Buy Me a Coffee website. I will give links in the description. Let's get back to Audacity and improve the sound. I will use the simple enhanced macro. It will improve the audio with an enhanced EQ that makes it good to listen. The audio is improved instantly. I will play the original audio and then this improved audio so you can see the difference it made.
Why you should use Audacity? Audacity is a free audio recording and editing software available on Windows, Mac and Linux. It has the easiest user interface among the audio editing software. Even if you are a beginner, you can start using Audacity with a very small learning curve. Why you should use Audacity? Audacity is a free audio recording and editing software available on Windows, Mac and Linux. It has the easiest user interface among the audio editing software. Even if you are a beginner, you can start using Audacity with a very small learning curve.
After applying the macro, you see how amazing the original voice recording has become. A macro has all the necessary audio effects to make it sound better. I will check if it passes the ACX requirements. The peak and RMS passed, but the noise floor failed. The reason for the noise floor failing is that I have not included noise reduction in the macro. Because noise reduction requires a sample selection manually. Different audio also needs a different amount of noise reduction. It is also easier to find the noise reduction amount for a particular recording after applying the macro. The noise floor is currently at -51 dB, and I will need a 9 dB noise reduction to pass ACX. If you want to know which effect a macro includes, you can check that from the macro manager. Select a macro, and all the effects and their order will be shown on the right side. You see no noise reduction in these effects, so I will apply noise reduction. I assume you know the basics of Audacity noise reduction. I am skipping the details of noise reduction, but you can check other videos on my channel if you need to learn more. It is full of excellent Audacity tips and tricks. The best noise reduction setting is a value of 6 on all these sliders. However, my recording requires a 9 dB reduction, so I will set the slider to 9. The noise reduction is applied, and it should now pass the ACX check. ACX check can fail in other areas if an effect is applied. For example, after applying noise reduction, the peak has failed just by a tiny amount. The required is -3, but my peak is -2.97. Fixing this is very easy, you have to normalize. I will normalize with a peak value of -3, and the peak will be okay. Everything is passed in the ACX check, and this audio is good enough to submit to the ACX website. Remember, the ACX standard is very high, and your platform may not require to meet the ACX guidelines strictly. You should also listen to the audio after it passes the ACX check.
Why you should use Audacity? Audacity is a free audio recording and editing software available on Windows, Mac and Linux. It has the easiest user interface among the audio editing software. Even if you are a beginner, you can start using Audacity with a very small learning curve. You have to learn the basics of audio editing and you are good to go. To clean up audio recordings using Audacity, you have to know some basics about the audio data. Though Audacity is 100% free, it is powerful enough to do professional quality work. Many full-time voice artists and audiobook narrators also use Audacity. You have to understand how to identify an audio problem. You have to know which action.
The ACX check has to pass on your final audio. That means you have applied the effects you wanted to add and deleted all the unnecessary parts. If you have a big unwanted silence in the audio, the ACX reading will be different when you remove that silence. I hope now you know what ACX check is and how to use it. My macros help to pass the ACX check quickly. If you need those, you can get them from here. I also have an audio cleanup course where you can learn how to get better sound. For the next 4 days, it is available at a discounted price. If you are interested to learn audio cleanup basics in detail, please enroll. I have shown the use of Audacity in detail. I also discussed Adobe Audition and some AI software. You will get all the necessary links in the description.